happened to you? I got suckered into another bullshit. You got it. Should have trusted my instincts to go embrace it. Fucking do it. What was I thinking? What was I thinking? Just say it. You want this one? Shut the fuck up, alright? Oh, okay. Well, no, it's fine. I figured let's take the sword since I gave you the bracelet. We can roll it. It's fine. It's not the guy. So then I get to yeah,
I don't have a target. I need a target. I don't have a target. I need a target.
It's like that's just how it is. That's a big boy. So basically, he's gonna spawn like take one. Yep.
What can I do for you?
What's the problem? You see the it's right.
What's on your mind? What do you need directions to?
We're gonna kill him. Come on, bitch ass, let's go. Let's go. Get away. Get down.
You need something? Safe travels.
You get fucking... She gives you gold? Okay. I gotta take a shit.
That's fucked up. That's fucked up.
Alright, testing 1 2 3, testing 1 2 3. Alright, I'm gonna go take a shit. No way. Do people buy that? Hmm. My dishwasher on fire.
The Wildhammer dwarves might have fast steeds, but can those airy peaked griffins stand the heat of the Great Forge? I think not.
I think not. I wonder if they updated Ooh. Nope. Reach level 20.
What's up, guys? Well, Season of Discovery, it's coming up really quick, so let's take a look at what professions are going to be good for gold making, or at least theorize, because, I mean, who knows? We're going into a completely new game mode, or max level game mode. Of course, we can know what's going to be good at level 60, pretty much, unless they come with some huge changes. They have made some, by the way. But what's going to be the thing at level 25? The initial level cap. Obviously, we're going to want to make gold, so we can twink out our characters, get good consumables, and have fun. And as well, make sure that we're ready for the next phases when they come around, because gold making is fun. So obviously we don't know. The end game meta, the level 60 meta in Classic, engineering was by far the best profession. And then it didn't matter so much what you paired it with, as far as I can remember at least. I had alchemy on my rogue. The second one doesn't matter. Engineering is insane because goblin sabotages are just absolutely broken, as well as some of the other utility with engineering. Now there are some changes already, because I was looking around on Wowhead. As you typically do, right? And this classic database already has a couple of new recipes. So epic bind and pickup gear with extremely strong effects that seem to require an item from, I'm assuming the item drops from Black Fathom Deeps, because these are required level 25. They require a Shard of the Void, which is a bind and pickup item, which very much looks like it's going to be a thing. These items are interestingly bind and pickup and requires leatherworking 100 for the leather gloves, and then the same thing for the other for the types of items. There's one for there's the mail armor, there's leather gloves, there's cloth boots. So these are all the ones that people want. There's actually two different ones for leather. If you want the the caster or the physical DPS. So that's obviously one big change, and we might see similar changes coming further down the line. But this means that in Season of Discovery, it's definitely going to be optimal, probably to have to be able to craft your own armor type if you really want to min-max your professions. So that's pretty cool. Obviously, I'm going to focus a little bit on the level 25 meta in this video. What's going to happen down the line? I mean, we don't know how big the changes are yet. So we'll just have to come as we go. Now, as for what you can make gold selling, typically, my experience, 3 types of items, or 4 depending on how you wanna cut it. Consumables, anything that increases player power for a short amount of time. Gear, we can also lump in stuff like enchantments and anything that increases the power level of your gear permanently. There isn't much in that category except for enchanting in Classic, which you can't sell on the auction house, and thus it makes it a really annoying profession to try to make gold with, so I don't bother. And then you have utility items, so typical bags, other forms of utility, things that don't give you, strictly speaking, more DPS, but that are useful, so things that can get you faster around, more space in your bags, that kind of thing. Bags is the number 1 in that category in Classic. It's from tailoring as far as professions goes, and there aren't that many other utility items, and generally speaking, that's a much smaller type of items that we care about. So, what are we going to care about in the first phase when we can get to 25? We're going to care about consumables that are close to the level cap. We're going to potentially care about gear that is close to the level cap. And we're going to care about getting the biggest bags we can, right? Getting the biggest bags we can. We can't get that big bags because we can only get to level 25, so not sure how... I'm sure some degenerate farmers will find ways to farm like Mage Weave or whatever at level 25, but in general we shouldn't really expect to be able to get much above Silk in terms of slots. Now for consumables, I think it's pretty clear that we're talking about one profession, and that is of course our good friend Alchemy. Ooh, Alchemy. So much stuff that you can craft here. Obviously, there's a bunch of different elixirs and potions available. Anything from elixir of lesser agility for 8 agility, ogre strength for 8 strength, elixir of firepower for spell fire damage for fire mages. And then healing mana potions, obviously free action potions. If there's any bosses that stun, these are going to be huge. This is like one of the best consumables in the entire game in terms of strength. Lesser invisibility potion, really strong seller long term. Great rage potion for warriors. There's a lot of consumables here that are going to be useful in Black Fathom Deeps, that are going to be useful. Of course, we don't know, is there going to be logging, parsing, will Warcraft log support like parse runs in BFD? That means people are gonna get sweaty and buy like the damage potions or elixirs. Either way, like Alchemy, definitely you have a lot of stuff that's potentially useful in the first phase for other players, and that will likely sell. Then you have some other ones. If you just look at like the overall list of items here, that this is items with required level between 20 and 25. That's crafted by professionals, so stuff that we can use in the first phase of Season of Discovery. Mostly we see the Alchemy. There's obviously buff food for 8 stamina, 8 spirit, armor kits for a little bit of armor for tanks, and then there's the sharpening stones and weapon stones from blacksmithing to make your weapons a little bit stronger, which we should also see. There's also a couple of engineering grenades. They don't show up in this search because they typically have much lower level requirements, and instead they have a significant engineering requirement. Now, I don't think engineering doesn't seem that good in the first phase, but obviously if you're planning long term, then maybe you go engineering and blacksmithing, or engineering and tailoring, depending on what armor type you are. So we could see people having that, and crafting the engineering grenades is super time consuming and annoying. So I made a ton of gold crafting sapper charges and selling them in Classic, because even though most people had engineering, and obviously your customers needed to have engineering to be able to use the sapper charges, it was a time-consuming process because of all the intermediate materials. So they paid big money actually for the sappers. But yeah, we'll see if that's the case in the first phase. We'll see how much people care about min-maxing their DPS in the first phase as well. I mean, generally speaking, we see that people do prefer to min-max. But yeah. Now for the gear. options, obviously we have these new BOP items that also then require these BOE items, like the extra planners spider silk boots. They require a pair of spider silk boots. So getting these recipes, the shining silver blessed plate, the spider silk boots, and the toughened leather gloves, this is going to be very important as far as gear crafting goes. Now they are just trained from the vendor, most of them, so this isn't going to be something that it's going to lock people out. But if you're the first to get this, then you can expect to sell these fairly nicely. There's always going to be someone who prefer just buying the finished item over assembling all the materials, and these do require a higher skill level, 145 compared to wearing these. Not quite sure what the recipe, well, if these require 160, so then I don't think it's gonna matter. But then again, I did sell a ton of sapper charges to people who already had engineering, so never say never. Outside of that, it's mostly like green gear, which isn't that strong in my opinion. So I don't really see gear as being like a huge factor in the first phase, with one significant exception, and that is the wands from enchanting. So the wands from enchanting, I mean, this is just my classic hardcore character, and I've sold a ton of wands while I haven't logged in a while, so I guess we just go here. Yeah. 129 wands sold. Well, a lot of them to vendors and then a lot of them on the auction house. This is just a great item. These are extremely strong for people leveling casters, and everyone's going to want one. And then they're great when they're leveling a caster. So this makes enchanting a pretty good early profession. You can generate gold, you can generate potentially vendor shuffle gold. So that's one to pay attention to in the gear market. Then lastly, utility. And utility, well, we're looking at bags, pretty much bags. Well, technically you can get high enough skill to craft the mage weave bag, which does require tailoring 225. But then you also have to be able to get mage weave cloth, which is a lot harder to do. Because, I mean, mage weave cloth, that drops from 40 plus mobs, which I don't think you'll be able to farm at level 25. So I do not expect us to get that high. Realistic is that the woolen bag will be the highest we can reliably get, because wool cloth is actually farmable at level 25. It may be possible to farm silk. There's some like level 30 mobs that do drop silk. Not sure how easy they will be to access, or whether we'll be like physically locked from going to them or something like that. But they won't be easy to farm and will be pretty much a significant luxury, which means I don't think people will stick with the wool bags as sort of the main one. Wool and linen are going to be the most used ones for the first phase, and there's going to be good money because people always want them.
And all night elves. It is my goal to find out why this has happened and to put an end to it.
Oh, sick. Oh, sick. 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 This is incredibly fucking annoying. Man, I just wanted to play before work, and that's not gonna happen.